a rumor from one of 49ers Twitter's very own Lobs All Day. You got to know Lobs. I mean, he's all up on Twitter telling you the truth about Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. And this is what he tweeted last night. Again, this is Lobs All Day. It's very important to start the show with the rumor coming from reputable sources such as a guy with an avatar of Brock Purdy smoking a cigarette. This is Lobs All Day saying, source told me the Niners are extremely high on Kelvin Banks Jr., so much so that he's their number one ranked OT in his draft class. Take that for what you will. He also said his sources told him that Will Johnson, if he's available at 11, the Niners are taking him if their top ranked OT is gone. And he said this source told him about Pearsall last year, and he didn't believe him, Ryan. But now he's taking him seriously because he got Pearsall right. So what he said is they're taking Will Johnson if Kelvin Banks Jr. isn't available. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. could be available at 11. If he were the pick, how would you feel about that?
Well, I've been wanting the 49ers to invest in an offensive lineman for a long time. My thing about it, here's the thing. They need an offensive lineman. They need him for a long time. They need a tackle. They need one for a long time. But Colton McKivitz is on the roster, and he is absolutely going to be your starting right tackle. And if Trent Williams is there, he's going to be starting left tackle. So drafting a player that's not going to start from the jump when there's so many holes in this roster that needs starters from the jump, it concerns me a little bit. Like, I love offensive line. Like, I'm big in on the trenches, but I mean, they need starters. And so I doubt he's going to just step in and Colton McKivitz is going to ride the bench. But they need one for next year because Colton McKivitz is going to be gone, I would imagine, and Trent Williams could be gone any time.
Here's the thing. If they take Kelvin Banks Jr. at 11, to me, that indicates that Trent Williams is retiring. I don't think they would take a left tackle and play him at left guard for a year or two until Trent Williams eventually retires because they have such more pressing needs than a left guard.
Yeah.
They could play Ben Barch and Spencer Burford in a rotation at that spot and be just fine. Right. So I don't think that look, Trent Williams might retire. I don't know. I mean, he kind of stepped away from the team last year. He had an ankle injury, but he also had a tragedy. I mean, his wife, I believe, had a stillborn. I mean, that's freaking tragic. A lot like Trevarius Ward. He might feel like, it's time to hang football up and focus on family. I have no idea what's going through his mind because he hasn't been around to talk. We asked John Lynch. He said, yeah, he's definitely going to be back and motivated. Sure, maybe, unless he changes his mind. I mean, it seems like from the Niners' perspective, if he were to retire, that'd be a story they would really hope and prefer comes out after the draft. Because why would they want anyone to know they need an offensive tackle?
He could be doing them a solid by not coming out about it like, hey, wait until after the draft so we can get your replacement in the draft.
Didn't Staley do that?
It sounds like it.
Staley did do that, but maybe
Yeah, I mean, if you're Trent Williams, do you want to be part of a rebuild at this point in your career? And I know the Niners say they're not in a rebuild, but they are. They're in a restructure at minimum. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, according to John Lynch, he plans on coming back. But again, like whatever GMs and coaches say isn't necessarily the truth, and there's strategy that could be involved here.
Let's make the argument for why Kelvin Banks Jr. be a great pick, or let's try just for the sake of it, like old college try. Offensive tackles are extremely hard to find, much more so than any position on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive tackles take time to develop. So, Colton McKivitz is going to be a free agent next year, and you don't know really when Trent Williams is going to retire, but you do know that he's going to get hurt and miss time. And you lost Jalen Moore. So this is a potential opportunity, especially if the Niners bounce back, have a good season next year, maybe go to the playoffs. This is your chance to sort of get an offensive tackle, maybe a left tackle if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always for the trenches. It's just this team has so many holes that need to be filled. But, I mean, you make a good point. And also Trent Williams, I think what is he averaging? How many games per season does he usually play? He usually misses at least a handful of games anyway. So there's that need also. They need a tackle. There's no doubt about it. It's just they need some defensive tackles as well to play right away. But to your point, your top tier offensive linemen are usually taken on at like most of the time early in the round one. So if they really want a game changer at offensive tackle, that's where you need to go get them most of the time.
Yeah. But the argument against it is like, yes, you want to be planning a year ahead on the offensive line. Obviously, that's what good teams do. That's what the Eagles do. But you've put yourself in such a bad position with all your drafting and what you did this offseason, getting rid of so many players and not replacing anyone. You have such dire needs on the defensive line that I just feels like that takes precedent. Like, how do you not take a defensive lineman how do you take a corner? How do you take anything other than a D tackle or a DN? That's unless you really love your Yatir Gross-Matos, which is like, why? He hasn't played a full season. It's like one full season in his career.
I mean, I think that's the way they have to go. But I mean, yeah, to your point, really, it's weird because I've been screaming offensive line with the first pick for years now, and they've avoided it, haven't done it. And now they're at a point, though, where I still value the offensive line heavily, and it's extremely important. They painted themselves into a corner where they have to go, to me, they have to go D-line. That's what it feels like to me. But you never know. Maybe a Kalia Davis, Evan Anderson is in the plans. I don't know. But you still need a pass rusher. Feels like they need to go D-line still. So I'm not sure I believe that they're going to go O-line with this. But he looks good. Banks looks like a good offensive tackle.
Again, if they take Kelvin Banks, the first thing going through my mind on draft night is what's up with Trent Williams. I can't fathom them making this pick unless Trent Williams is probably retiring. And if he is retiring, then I completely get it. I'm not sure that Kelvin Banks is going to be a Pro Bowl left tackle. I don't know. I'm not that great of a scout. He looks like a good left tackle. His numbers were great in college, and clearly he fits the Niners system, which is what Kyle cares about. I mean, pass protection is important, but what's more important is how he executes all the run blocks and screen blocks, and played for Steve Sarkisian at Texas, a very similar system. I'm sure he can watch Kelvin Banks execute all the little things that he's going to ask of him, and he's going to like that.
You know, like the more I think about it, if you think about a year or two away, Colton Kivitz is going to be a free agent after this coming season. Trent Williams could retire at any time. Jake Brendel I think, only has one more year after this, and he's 36 or something like. He's an old dude, or 34. I think he's 34. Mm-hmm. He's up there. Don Pooney's here. They don't necessarily know who they got at left guard. Maybe they're going with Ben Barge. This offensive line could be completely different than it is right now 2 years from now. Maybe not this season, but the season after could be completely different. 4 different guys outside of Don Pooney on this line. So it does make sense. I wouldn't be really pissed off if they drafted a tackle early, because it's been something I've been wanting them to do for a long time. It just feels like they made themselves have all these other needs defensively because of what they've been doing.